I have way too much to talk about today. There's so much going on. And it's just, there's so much fun stuff happening right now. It's like meltdowns for days, and I can't fit them all into an hour and a half. It's impossible. And on top of that, all the stuff that I want to say. This Roe v. Wade decision has been one of the best gifts, and not just to babies. It has been one of the best gifts to the internet. The fallout has been nothing short. You know how, like, it's, you can't stop watching a train wreck. Like, you can't pull your eyes away. It's that level of intensity. I gotta cover it as much as possible. You know? What's up, guys? Bill Clinton, hey, where's the girl? I mean, women. Wait, didn't this account leave a comment on one of the videos that actually made me laugh? And I can't remember what it was, but it actually made me laugh. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Bill Clinton, MVP in the chat. And welcome, Chris Bickford. Yes, it is a day. No, it's not a daily thing. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will make exceptions for like important events, you know, like late speeches and stuff like that, like a State of the Union. I'll probably be live for those, or if any major thing happens, I'll probably be live for that. I imagine that I'll probably be live for a lot of the midterm results, just hanging out with you guys and chatting. So, but mainly Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern, 11 Central, which is the only time zone that matters, actually. So, you know, just whatever. It's been fun. It has been fun, Raptor. It actually has. Like, I cannot. Normally, I try to stay away from politics over the weekend. I really do. I try my hardest. But I have been unable to tear my eyes away from the absolute meltdown that's been happening. It's just been so delicious. I could eat this for months and stay nourished. I could grow fat. I could grow fat on it. I just see the announcements, but never sure if it's on any given day. Knowing it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday helps. Dude, we're happy to have you in the chat. Seriously. What's up, Amtrue? I don't know if I told you guys about this, but my wife introduced me to a much better way of drinking water. You put frozen fruit into like a canister like this, a little green tea bag, and then you put some kind of like, it's called like liquid IV in it. It kind of gives it like a slight lemonade flavor, but it's supposed to enhance the electrolytes and all that stuff. And I can't stop drinking water this way. It's so good. Weekend is over. Ole Miss won the CWS, and they all leave my hotel. I'll leave my hotel now. Congratulations to Ole Miss. Wow, welcome to the Eastern time zone, the only time zone that matters. No, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. All right. Central time zone has all the important states, and by all the important states, I mean Texas. Texas, which has NASA and SpaceX. So, you know, it's only like the birthplace of the future of human civilization. Okay? It's all that matters. All right, Eastern, Pacific, Mountain. Okay, you know, you're there. Okay, that's fine. Just kind of, you know, let the Central time, the leader, lead. You know, just let it stand out in front. That's all I'm saying. Sorry to everyone else who's in all these other time zones, but Central time zone is really the only one that matters. Brandon, we've all been celebrating. It's still got a long way to go, but these are incredibly important steps. That is true, Bill Clinton. That is true, Bill Clinton. Everyone else is just slow. Virginia and Maine are much more important. Okay, all right. At the risk of upsetting Red, how important is actually Maine in the grand scheme? What's Maine giving us? Lobsters? Lobster rolls? Which are like on every corner like it's a Starbucks? I used to live in Georgia. I used to live in Georgia, like north of Atlanta, past like a little town called Woodstock, on into Jasper. And in the before time, in the long ago, before it was like all built over and all that stuff, it was basically one straight long highway with a lot of pine trees on the side of it, right? Going from Woodstock to Jasper. And I went to Maine with my family when we were kind of touring the East Coast a long time ago. And we got to Maine and we were driving down the road, the highway. And I could not differentiate it from Georgia. I was like, if I didn't know any better, if like someone had knocked me out with chloroform or something like that, or drugged me into into a sleep that I couldn't wake up from, and then one day like they just woke me up and we were cruising down that road, I would have thought, oh, I'm back in Jasper, back in Georgia. You have NASA too. You have NASA Site B. Okay, NASA Site B. Don't mess with Texas. That's right, Bill Clinton. What's up, Nicole? Nicole Lear Music, everybody. Nicole is here. Go follow her. Not only is she an excellent musician in her own right, she also works for Red Liberty Media, who I got to meet while I was at YWLS. And seriously, an awesome group. A great group. Go check them out. Red Liberty Media. Awesome site. Seriously. Back internet dropped. Well, welcome back, Amtrue. Maine has constitutional carry before Texas. All right, Chris. You know what? Okay. Point. But now Texas has it too. So I don't know why I just did the snap thing. What's up, Susie? It's just 4 electoral votes, bro. True story. A 24-hour LL Bean. Actually, we did go to that one. It was pretty cool. I gotta say, the 24-hour LL Bean. Considering the maroon in the state house, besides the weather, I'd take it or leave it on Maine. That comes from a Maine. What do we call you guys? Maynards? Maine guys? I don't. What do you? How do you describe? Like, I'm a Texan. You be Georgian. You can't be Mainan. What do you call? Is it Maynard? Is that how you say it? Yes? Okay. I live in Texas as well, but family is in Maine. The only thing that's killing me about Texas right now is the heat and the pollen. The pollen and the heat right now are absolutely decimating me. Which is saying something. Oh, Susie, do you feel any better? Everyone, pray for Susie. She's come down with a little something. Maniac. Oh, I like that, Susie. Susie got it. It's not Maynard. It's just Maniac. Maniacs. What's up, John? Guys, let's get to it. Nancy Pelosi pushed a kid. That's how I'm gonna start this. Nancy Pelosi pushed a kid. And in fact, it wasn't just any kid. It was Myra. I still don't. It's Mayra Flores. Apparently, she was being sworn in, and the kids were to the right. Is it stage left? Stage right, stage left of Nancy Pelosi. And they were kind of like, okay, I'm just going to show you the video. By the way, this is up at redstate.com. Everything I'm about to talk about is up at redstate.com right now. Please go there, follow along. And if you would, please sign up for the VIP program. It's pretty cheap right now. If you sign up using the promo code Morse, you get a nice little hefty discount. Also, I think, actually, no, hang on. You know what? Use Save America. Because I think right now we're giving away a 40% discount on signing up for the VIP program with promo code Save America. So do that. Also, if you haven't yet, like this stream. Like the stream. Algorithm really plays well whenever the stream is liked. So please do so if you haven't already. Myra Flores says, yes, Nancy Pelosi shoved her child during a photo op. So here's what happened. Apparently they were being sworn in, and then Myra Flores' little girl was standing next to Nancy Pelosi, and Nancy Pelosi decided to elbow. This has nothing to do, by the way, well, as far as I know, it doesn't have much to do with Roe. We're going to get to that in a second. But I had to highlight this. Because it shows you the kind of person that Nancy Pelosi actually is. Bill Clinton probably knows all about it. So here's what happened. They're standing there, minding their own. Look at this, being sworn in. Happy family, and also Nancy Pelosi. Happy family and this mannequin. And you can see the little girls. These are the sweetest looking little girls I have ever seen in my life. Look at how they're just precious. They're standing there, and Nancy Pelosi is just like, you could tell that she does not want to touch these kids. It's like they have some sort of like skin to skin disease, and like touching them would spread it to her. Watch her. Look. Who stands like this naturally? Who stands like that naturally? Wide sweeping gestures, and here it comes. Oh, okay, so she sees the kid. Too close, kid. Get the hell away. Oh my god. She actually did, with her elbow, push the kid away. Push the kid away. For those of you who need a replay of that, there's one right here. Over and over again. There it is. She actually pushes the kid away. And she's standing there. What? Like, who? I do not understand. She's standing there like this now. Like, she can't touch these kids. Like, and I'm not talking like Joe Biden touch. It's not like she's going to be at risk of being accused of doing anything wrong, like to the kid. It's just like she just doesn't. It's like they got cooties. She doesn't want the cooties. What's that about? What is? By the way, I just got to say this, but this is after. These little girls have become more powerful than Nancy Pelosi could ever imagine. God bless the Flores family, man, for having to put up with that. I just wanted to highlight that real fast. That was a really weird move from Nancy Pelosi. I don't understand what the deal was with that. Like, she really, like, it was like they were diseased or something. She didn't want to touch them. She doesn't want to, they're considered the peasantry still, I guess. Nancy Pelosi doesn't touch the peasantry. We all know that. Come on. It's beautiful bean footage. Cool kids. I know. Dude, these kids are going to be rock stars, especially the smaller one, who's already taken that sassy stance. I love it. Kid didn't care. LL came right back. I know. Kid did not care. We could take a lesson from her. Don't insult mannequins. Like, do you know what compared with Nancy? My apology to the mannequin community. Naked bro, cheapest Tinder for sex. Thank you for deleting that. Go ahead and ban that user. Or bot, I should say. It's not a user. What's up, Animal AK? How you doing, man? Welcome. I just wanted to point that out. I just thought it was a funny issue. So we've got a really weird fallout. I shouldn't say weird. This is pretty typical, I think, of leftists from Roe, right? Roe being the holiest of holies from the Democrat Party. It's like one of the most precious things that they had going for them, and now it's gone just out of the blue. Well, I shouldn't say out of the blue. This has been a long time coming, right? A lot of parts were moved around in order to collapse Roe from the Republican Party. And now it's suddenly gone. I think it took a lot of people by surprise. I don't think they were paying attention much. Now all of a sudden Roe is gone and everyone's mad. Well, by everyone, I mean everyone on the left who actually supports abortion. Not everyone on the left supports abortion, believe it or not, but a good deal do, and they're mad. And as you can see, they've rolled out with their bullhorns and their, I don't know why they include LGBT. Again, I'm confused as to why the LGBT community is angry about this. As I said in the last stream, if you're in an LGBT committed relationship, you have a very stable lifestyle, and you want to adopt a kid, which some do, this is the best news for you in a long time. Now there's going to be so many kids to choose from. Right? This is great for you. But for some odd reason, it's the intersectionality of things. Everything is connected. Everything. You know, any problem that the black community is having is also shared by the LGBT community. If you ban abortions, that's really bad for for every other community under the leftist protective umbrella. Transgenderism. It's really bad for transgenderism, this decision. Why? Because it is. Despite the fact that it, LGBT relationships typically don't involve babies. Typically. I know that they've tried to push that on us through the media with these pregnant men, but this is so rare. It's so entirely rare. So this is absolute nonsense, all right? Two gay people can't get together and make a baby, okay? Okay, you can't get together with your buddy, see that your Schwartz is as big as his, and then pop out a kid, okay? You ever seen two clams in a fight for territory? They don't make baby clams. Okay. I don't know why I went that far. Oh my God. Pro-abortion protesters think they have a brilliant solution to Roe's overturning, though. Is the funny part. This is one of the bigger self-owns that I could. It's like it was. It's like we are living in a Monty Python movie. All right, we are living in a Monty Python movie. Because this is one of those moments where you're just like, did you stop for 5 seconds and think about this? Did you stop for 5 seconds and think about this? Because in the end, you just kind of looped back around and you sided with the people that you are allegedly against. What do I mean by that? Let me point it out. The pro-abortion crowd decided to go on a sex strike. Women of America take the pledge. Because SCOTUS overturned Roe v. Wade, we cannot take the risk of an unintended pregnancy. Therefore, we will not have sex with any man, including our husbands, unless we are trying to become pregnant. Okay. Oh, and hashtag sex strike. Yeah. Yeah. That was the point that we were trying to make this entire time. If you really want to avoid being pregnant, sure, there's all sorts of contraceptions out there. There's contraceptive measures out there. You could take birth control. You could also put on a condom while you have sex just to double down that protection, baby. The vasectomy, sure, go get a vasectomy if you want to do that. If you want to take the venom out of your snake, that's fine. That's fine. But the point is that the best way to not get pregnant is to not have sex. You practice abstinence. That's what we've been saying this entire time. And now they finally arrive at the same thing. We're just not going to have sex because it's too dangerous. You got it. You came to the right conclusion. You got it. That's what we've been trying to say. Women, though, don't stop having sex with your husbands. That is a bad idea. That is just a bad idea. Sex is necessary to marriage. It just is. All right. If you are a wife who is refusing to have sex with her husband over this, I don't think you value your marriage much. Let's just say that. It's a dumb move. It's a dumb move. Have sex with your husband. Okay. Here's the funny part, though. I was looking at some of these. This is the person who's going on sex strike, by the way. Not going to have sex with a man. Just in case you were wondering, who's going on sex strike here. Here's the other thing that I think is very interesting. Because somebody a while back on, it was, hang on, let me see if I can pull this up. I hate the fact that it doesn't populate. Here it is. So, one of the things that these feminists and these pro-abortion people were saying was that if you do eliminate Roe, you will eliminate hookup culture. It's going to be decimated. Hookup culture is going to die. And it was off the motherfucking drugs. Don't want to get TOS'd by YouTube. They love to do that. In case you're a man who doesn't care about Roe v. Wade, just know that if abortion gets banned, hookup culture will be absolutely decimated. What woman should have mediocre sex with a drunk rando if he could potentially father their child? You get it. Gee Willikers, man. You finally get it. Random hookups are not a good idea. They just aren't. You risk having a child with some drunken rando, some idiot, okay? who you decided to get in bed with on the just because either you were drunk or you both were drunk, whatever. You know, you were in the mood for bad decisions, so you crawled in bed with them. You risk having a child every single time. Now you can't get it aborted, so you have to be more choosy. This is going to have some really great consequences. And I wanted to point this out. Because this isn't talked about a lot. We do have a hookup culture. It's really bad. It's really, really, really bad. I mean, ever since the introduction of the birth control pill and hookup in the sexual revolution of the 60s, hookup culture has become kind of a thing. And it has become more and more and more abused as time goes on. What they don't understand, what a lot of people don't really talk about, is that hookups actually cause a sort of depression. It actually hurts you mentally and emotionally. Believe it or not. This is from a study. An individual history of hookup behavior has been associated with a variety of mental health factors. In a study of 394 young adults followed across the university semester, those with more depressive symptoms and greater feelings of loneliness who engaged in penetrative sex hookups subsequently reported a reduction in both depressive symptoms and a feeling of loneliness, meaning that if you were already depressed, you kind of used sex, or this is what I take from it, you used sex as a salve for that. It's a temporary salve. At the same time, participants who reported fewer depressive symptoms and fewer feelings of loneliness who engaged in penetrative sex hookups subsequently reported an increase in both depressive symptoms and feelings of loneliness. In another study, among 291 sexually experienced individuals, people who had the most regret after uncommitted sex also had more symptoms of depression than those who had no regret. However, in the same sample, women's but not men's degree of depressive symptoms increased with the number of previous sex partners within the last year. In the first study to investigate the issue of self-esteem and hookups, both men and women who have never engaged or have had ever engaged in uncommitted sexual encounters had lower overall self-esteem scores. So there is, like, hookup culture is, it's kind of like smoking a cigarette. All right. It's really relaxing at the moment, you know. It's good. It's kind of okay, you know. You get the sense of ease and release and satisfaction in the moment, right? But then over time, you start to have negative effects associated with it. You know, with smoking, your lungs tend to get more congested. They become unhealthy. It's harder to breathe. You could risk cancer. With hookup culture, as you continue to do it more and more and more, you build up regrets. All right, that sense of loneliness and depression increases. They don't talk about this. So if Roe v. Wade is in fact, the death of it is in fact causing a walkback from hookup culture, then we're going to see a lot more mentally healthy people. Not to mention the fact that we're not going to be spreading as much venereal diseases around. I'm still trying to figure out what the downside is to the death of Roe v. Wade. They say it's it's a lesion of women's rights. We're going back to the 1950s. And I want to remind everybody, it was never a constitutional right. Abortion was never a constitutional right. And here's the thing. Technically, what just happened is no one made abortion illegal on the federal level. It still can be legal anywhere. But it's been returned as a choice to the states. And if you live in a state that does not allow it to be legal because most of the people there see it. Nurse Jackie, thank you so much for the sub. If you live in a state where it is illegal and you disagree with that, feel free to move to a state that makes it legal. Feel free. But understand that state has made it illegal because the vast majority of the people who live there want it to be illegal. The choice has been returned to the people. This was a freedom movement. This was a freedom moment. But like I said in the last one, in the last episode of RSL. It's not about freedom. It never was about freedom. It's never about women's rights. This was about a loss of power. This is why they're pissed off. This is why they want you to be pissed off. They're trying to make their loss of power seem like a loss of power for you, but that's not it. You have gotten more power for the over this decision than you've ever had before. I always like the idea of responsibility and accountability. Action should have consequences. Amtrue is 100% correct. You make the choice to have sex with some rando. You take the risk of actually getting pregnant with it. And here's the other thing. If you're a man and you do get a woman pregnant, I think that you should bear some responsibility. I think that there is an alternative here for men as well. If a woman gets pregnant, you can't just walk away. You have to help. Because a lot of expenses are coming down the tube. What's up, Pickled Squirrel? Regarding hookup culture, I really wish more people would read Sanger, especially Pivot of Civilization. That was her way to control the inferiors. Margaret Sanger was a rabid eugenicist. And she really did not like the black population. And we've discussed this before. There's a reason that there is a ton of Planned Parenthoods, mainly centered around black population areas. It is one of the most racist organizations in existence today, yet the left defends it as if it's the holiest, like it's a holy temple. And it's going to hurt black people the most now that Roe is dead. More black people abort their babies than almost any other race, thanks to the encouragement and access Planned Parenthood has thrust upon them. They're dying, and yet it's going to be bad for the black community? Give me a break, man. That's why I smoke cigars. You don't inhale cigars. True. I also smoke cigars. I like cigars. I'm actually a former smoker. I used to smoke quite a bit, cigarettes. I had to stop because of the amount of unhealth that I was feeling. Now I just need to stop sugar. Fun times. Thank you, Amtrue. We have twin boys and a strangler. And a strangler? We have twin boys and a strangler? If you ask the correct person, they say you're back to the 1940s. Why? Who knows? Dude, the return to federalism is actually an advancement forward, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, oh, we're going back. No. You have to understand, federalism is still technically the new kid on the block when it comes to government, ways of running a government. It's still the new one. It's not going back. You're going forward. You're going back to the future, Marty. It is the most advanced government system that has ever been conceived by man thus far. The constitutional republic is the most advanced system conceived of man by far. You're going back to the future by reinstating federalism in a big way. Abortion can be legal at the state level, which is where it should be, with the people, not the federal level. Amen. Federalism. They had 50 years to codify, but it would never pass at the federal level, period. People misunderstand that Roe was approved on very shaky ground. Very unprovable ground. It should be understood that Roe being overturned was an inevitability. It was never codified in the law. So, I mean, it was going to have a really hard time being codified in the law. And in fact, I think they purposely avoided it for a long time. But this was an inevitability. Roe could never survive. It couldn't breathe on its own. It was eventually going to get overturned. All they got is chaos to push division and hope. Yeah, exactly. Just glad my federal tax dollars paying for someone's abortion is gone. Me too, dude. I did not. Again, I think I talked about this in the last one. We were paying, like, Planned Parenthood alone somewhere around $500 million a year. A year. And if you ask me, it really was just like a way for Democrats to launder their money, man. You want to talk about expenses? Sorry, 3 boys I can hardly see on the iPad. I'm about to have my own boy. And I'm only have one, and we're already like, God, this is going to get expensive. My dad said something to me once, which was actually really cool. He's like, you're never going to be rich enough for a kid. It's just expensive, but you're never going to be poor enough to not have one. So it's something that I'm willing to deal with. I wanted to mention this real fast. You'll notice that I'm trying to actually get through this relatively quickly because some of the best stuff is on TikTok. And I kind of normally we save TikToks for Friday because it's like a Friday fun day. And we like to go through the TikToks there. I'm kind of moving it for today because some of the reactions are just bizarre to the point of illegality. And by the way, some of the illegal stuff that is happening on TikTok right now is still up on TikTok, which I think is really strange. Kids are expensive. We have 4 daughters. Are you all familiar with Harshaw's Law? No, I'm not. What is that? Also 4 daughters. Good luck. That's a lot of estrogen in one place, man. Abortion supporters rage in an unlikely target over Roe overturn. Liberal icon Ruth Bader Ginsburg is currently under attack. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a hero for many reasons, but the terrible irony is that her decision to stay too long at the party helped lead to the destruction of one of the things she cared about the most. Sadly, this will be a big part of her legacy. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is slow roasting in hell, says an unhinged leftist who's mad that they can't kill babies anymore. I wanted to highlight this story for a reason. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, for a very long time, was considered one of the greatest heroes the left ever had. The Democrats held her up as a saint. Okay? She was worshipped. She was a feminist icon. They had freaking candles made with her image, like those prayer candles made with her on it. This is how much they loved her. And then she died at the wrong time. Now she's public enemy number 1 to Democrats. Don't you think it's a little strange that someone so revered, so holy, one of the saints of the left, can suddenly become its public enemy number 1? What does that tell you about the left, man? It tells you that these people do not have heroes. They have useful people. RBG was useful at the time. She was a great narrative carrier. You know, she was a mom, she was a justice, one of the big feminist fighters of their time. You wanted they had children's books about her that you were to read to your daughters so that they would grow up to be just like her and believe just as she did. And now she is being blamed for the death of Roe. Now she's trash. The left does not appreciate you. The left does not consider you a hero. It has no heroes. The left has no sacred cows. The moment that this starts to wear off and stops being a politically viable way to garner the base and get the votes, women will once again take a back seat, and it will be transgenderism again. They won't be able to define women again. Have you noticed now they can suddenly define what a woman is again? Have you noticed that? They say it every other sentence. Women's rights, women's rights. This is going to be bad for women. Women this, women that. Oh, suddenly we know what a woman is. Suddenly we know what a woman is. You couldn't a minute ago. You couldn't define it. You couldn't define women. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, women, we're the party of women. Just a second ago, you were the party of not women. You couldn't define them because you're not a biologist. You are only praised by the left so long as you are useful. The moment that you use up your usefulness, or the moment that you become a detriment to the left, you are public enemy number one. You are hated. Okay? You are removed from the sainthood that is your status on the left. Guaranteed, if you go back and you look at some of the presidents, the Democrat presidents, okay, and some of the things that they said and believed, they would be canceled in a minute. But not that long ago, John F. Kennedy would probably be considered something of a right-winger today. And he would be canceled. Just like Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, who, by the way, is also a much-hated enemy of the left, despite the fact that she is a Democrat and probably is what the Democrat Party should be. Wasn't there an article on Red State about how RBG waited to retire so the first female president could appoint her replacement? I don't recall that, but we've written so many articles. I've written in my entire career so many articles that I've forgotten most of them. So it very well might have happened. She is dead. What can they do to her now? Rest in peace and God bless. Yeah. Look, I don't agree with a lot of what Ruth Bader Ginsburg believed. I don't agree with a lot of what she said, but I do think that she did live a very iconic life. You know, I can respect her for some of the things that she's accomplished. And I mean, like, you know, she was proof that even the right and the left can get along. I mean, you know, her best friend was, oh God, why am I blanking on the name? Justice, one of her best friends was it Alito? No, it wasn't Alito. It was, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm like blanking right now in front of all of you. But you get what I'm saying. Your outrage can be as genuine as you like, but it's being weaponized by those who don't give a damn about you. You are a useful tool to them to be discarded at the next opportunity. Exactly. That's, you can take anybody. You know, you can look back, and there are numerous occasions where a singular person or a group was one of the most heralded and celebrated groups or persons or anything by the left. But then the moment that they became yesterday's news, then they were yesterday's news for the left. They stopped talking about it. They couldn't care less. They abandoned these people. Abandoned them. It's the constant thing. I'm watching it happen in real time. It's a slow burn, but it's happening with the Hispanic community. The Hispanic community is turning out to be not so leftist. The Democrats rolled the dice thinking that, you know, oh, well, if they start, you know, I've said this before. If we invite all these people in and open the borders and let all these you know, Mexican people, El Salvadorian, you know, Guatemalan people into the U.S., then the Hispanic community, the Latinx community, is going to love us. They're going to vote for us. And then it turns out that the Hispanic community in the United States isn't that pleased with that decision, but also B, isn't that leftist. They're actually, in general, center-right. And now all of a sudden you have these people turning on the left. And I'm watching it happen in real time here in Texas. Mayra Flores is exactly one of those moments. And keep in mind that she is a Republican who got elected in a plus 13 Biden area. And this is after 3 other areas went from blue to red just last year. And these are 80% plus Hispanic communities. As it turns out, the left does not have their finger on the pulse of the Latinx community. By the way, they don't like that name. They don't like that term. They've said that repeatedly, but the left is still like, you kind of call yourselves Latinx. AOC was out there talking about how people are selfish for not using it. Bold move, Cotton. Scalia. Thank you. Thank you, Scalia. Oh, I'm such an idiot. You know what a woman is, Mini Raptor? Are you a biologist? I didn't think so. Or maybe you are a biologist, in which case, can you please tell us what a woman is? Because we're not allowed to know. 30-year-old trans woman beat a 13-year-old girl in a skateboard competition. Ain't over yet. Dude, I saw that too. I actually tweeted out about it. Follow me at the Brandon Morse. I tweeted out about it, and I was like, I mean, this is... Who is proud of this guy? That's what I want to know. Who is proud of the guy who... The 29-year-old dude, he's 29... thinks he's a woman, or is at least claiming that he's a woman, and he beats a 13-year-old at a skateboarding competition, and we're supposed to celebrate it? Like, who's proud of him? Who's going, this is brave. This is stunning and brave. This is a Monty Python sketch. That's what this is. This isn't real. Somehow we fell into a different dimension where Monty Python is writing life. That's what's going on. Are there people? I know there are. There are people in the trans community who are just like, this is amazing. This is a great step forward for us. Trashing 13-year-old girls. That's what we need. That's what's going to bring us forward in this march for our rights. Oh. Defeating more 13-year-old girls. That's one of the barriers standing in the way of the trans community finding its footing here in mainstream culture. It's just a line of 13-year-old girls they gotta plow over. What's up, Sean? Brandon has a word or two to say on lateness. Sean is never late. He arrives precisely when it means to. South Carolina Congresswoman on tape with an inmate talking with sleepers in the Republican Party to win local elections. I'm glad you brought that up, Amtroop. And I was going to tackle that today, but I just kind of wanted to tackle this because it's just so delicious, this meltdown that's happening. So we're going to talk about that on Wednesday, provided nothing much bigger happens. But for those of you who don't know about this, Project Veritas went undercover again, and I don't know how their methods keep working. You would figure by now that people would have learned to shut up around strangers. But they went into a Republican's office in South Carolina, and as it turns out, this Republican was once a Democrat, decided to swap parties so that they would have a much better chance of winning in the state. And this Republican is no Republican. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing situation. They are pretending to believe Republicanism on the outside, but on the inside, they're still a Democrat. And they still believe Democrat things, and they are intentionally hiding their views so that they will be elected. That's what it is. Actually, Animal is a biologist. Animal, what's a woman? Animal, tell us what a woman is. Just in this debate once and for all, Animal. I know what a woman is. Been with enough to know. I mean, I've had the ability, the privilege, if you will, to be able to identify one from the other. And I have to say, because my wife's pregnant, so I've had sex at least one time, right? I failed high school biology twice and didn't want to dissect a baby pig. We did frogs. Y'all did pigs? We did frogs. I probably don't want to use plow, a 13-year-old girl in the same sense. Oh, God, I didn't even think about that. I said that in a bunch of maps. We're just like, I have some, but my network got hacked, so I'm stuck on the iPad. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. I was going to give it a slide because he said over and not through. Y'all I wasn't even thinking about that. Y'all nasty. I don't work as a biologist, but I do stay current. Studied biology with an emphasis on field zoology and animal behavior back in the day. Woman, an adult female of the species Homo sapiens. Yeah, but what if the female has a penis? Huh? Did you think about that, animal? Agreed, Bill. Want to be president again. Not one right now. I wanted to be a wildlife biologist, but then I found out those guys get paid. Yipes. Oh, they don't get paid very much. Mike Burns, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much. Can we watch some libs of TikTok, please? Because some of this stuff has gone beyond nutty. Beyond nutty. Beyond nutty. This is the reaction to Roe v. Wade being overturned. Yeah, you take a minute. You take a minute. It's fine.
It's all right.
Yep.
It's all right. I feel that way too. It's all right. We feel that way together, okay?
Okay.
Let it out.
Okay.
Let it out.
Woo. Okay. So, that was a little bit of a jump scare, not gonna lie. Why is she so upset? Does she plan on getting an abortion? She kind of looks like she's beyond that phase. Am I being mean by saying that? Am I being mean by saying that? I just feel like this is, again, the power has been returned to you to decide whether or not it's legal. If you want it to be legal, go campaign your case. Go campaign your case, make arguments, okay? Vote for politicians that agree with you, or at least get very close to agreeing with you, because abortion is a very nuanced issue, and there's a lot of people who, even pro-life people, who say, okay, well, in this case, we can allow abortion. Go convince these people. What are you doing by screaming and sobbing into a camera? What is this accomplishing? How many people are like, this is really turning me around on the issue? This is me. Oh, Slay Queen. I get you. You know, I was pro-life, but now I'm not. Convince me. She's literally shaking. Got any more for us? I'm being greedy. Come on. You got one more for us?
Everybody wants to show the happy side. I'm mad as hell today! But because I have responsibilities, I'm gonna do these freaking dishes.
I'm mad as hell about Roe v. Wade. Now I'm gonna do these freaking dishes. Oh God, TikTok, it's such a treasure trove. I can't believe we wanted to get rid of it. You do those dishes, baby.
It's gonna be all right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have to be careful. Yep, I have to be careful because some of these are. So there was this. Yeah, here it is. There is this. Apparently, they posted one, and I don't want to show it on YouTube because they're gonna strike us if I do. There were Boy Scouts marching with a bunch of LGBT flags. For some reason, I don't know what LGBT and Boy Scouts have to do with each other. But they were marching, and out in front of them were a bunch of bicyclists, completely naked, just riding a bike in front of them. And we're not supposed to believe in groomers. I don't know why these people are upset about Roe has been overturned and it goes back to the States. Why the drama? Because drama in motion and theater is all these people really have as far as arguments go. They actually don't know what they're talking about half the time. In fact, many of them are mad because they were told to be mad. This is a big deal. It's women's rights. You have more rights than you ever had. You have more power than you ever had. They don't understand that. They don't get federalism, but because they don't understand federalism, they're going to go burn it all down. This is ignorance. You know what this is, guys? You know what this is? This is our public school education on display. That's what this is. Is she the brain specialist? No, she's the dishes specialist. This woman needs some pills. They can't be bargained with. They can't be reasoned with. They don't feel pity or remorse or fear. It absolutely will not stop ever. Nope. That's why you got to stay. This is a big W for us, right? This elimination of Roe is a big W for us. But let's be very clear. This does not mean that the fight is over. In fact, the fight's just going to get more intense now. The fight is going to get way more intense. The cost only goes up. You got some pills, Bill Clinton, for her. Bill, you stay away from that woman. As you can see, she's got a lot to do. She's got dishes to do, Bill. Okay? Hey, at least nobody in government was trying to get her fired for the last 2 years. True. Is she the brain spot? Oh, I read that. How now? Hey, now, I'm pro-choice. Do the freaking dishes then. You could just throw them all you want. That was seriously like one of the funniest things I've ever seen on TikTok. Seriously.
But because I have responsibilities, I'm gonna do these freaking dishes.
I want to make that a sounder. I seriously, once I can unlock sounders, we might have a way of doing that, by the way. I'm gonna make that a sounder. All right, this woman mailed her period blood to the Supreme Court to protest the overturning of Roe v. Wade. I don't know if there's music involved, but if there is...
I'm a fucking patriot. You know what's funny?
What's funny?
Is y'all thought I was kidding.
Wait, what did that say? It's backwards. Is this a life you're saving? F you. Okay. USA, Brett Kavanaugh. Oh, to Brett Kavanaugh.
I'm a fucking patriot.
I mailed my period blood, so I'm a patriot. This is...
in the past has not worked very...
The logic that these people use is breathtaking. And this doesn't just go for her. It's all of these people who get out and they protest and they throw a tantrum, you know? They just let all their emotions out. I don't understand who they think they're going to convince by doing this stuff. Like, at this point in time, it's self-gratification. They're mad and they need to find a way to get it out. So I'm going to mail my... She sat around and possibly with some friends and said, you know what would be a really great idea? What's that? I'm going to mail my period blood to Brett Kavanaugh. Good idea, sister. Slay queen. And isn't that illegal? Did somebody with a legal background, Susie, isn't mailing something like that to a justice illegal, if I'm not mistaken? Something like a felony? I thought I heard somebody talking about that. Like, this was a felony. She is taping herself doing a felony, apparently. Unfortunately, I have to go because, unlike TikTokers, I got a job. Bill, thank you so much for coming in here, classing up the joint. Bill Clinton, everybody. Bill Clinton. Susie, I do use paper plates sometimes. It does save time. I mean, when you have kids, I guess paper plates are like the way to go. I'm mad, because otherwise the dishes would just pile up. I'm mad that I have to do the dishes. I'm going to do these freaking dishes! Bye, Bill. Be safe from Hillary. I'll try, but she's a cookie. A cookie one? Have a good one, Bill. Thanks for balancing the budget that one time. Yeah, come on back, Bill. Come on back when you can. She actually did. It'd be very illegal. Okay. I'm a effing patriot. Should also be a sounder. Yeah, it should be. Oh, yeah, that's a really good idea, Red. We're going to unlock sounders one day. I swear, or YouTube's going to make them available. There's a clot wrong with her. I don't know what a sounder is, but it sounds like a good idea. It is. Hey, girl, what you do? I think mailing bodily fluids is just illegal. Oh, it is? The schools and social media have to keep all these people at age 13. She didn't tape actually mailing the letter. It is the blood and stuff that is illegal. Interesting. Maybe she actually didn't, but I mean, like, if anything does arrive at Brett Kavanaugh's house, can she be held, like, legally liable for that? Like, they know who did it? By the way, Cleo brought up something that it kind of just sparked a memory. And I cannot remember where I saw it or who the quote belongs to. But it regarded public education, and it said, they will never give you the education necessary to overthrow them. I thought that was really interesting. Meaning, in other words, that they want to keep you dumb in many ways. And if, like I said, I keep seeing examples of how our American public education has failed people. Big time failed people. A sounder is, well, what does it sound like? It will be a short audio clip that will be played at times over the stream. Yeah, this is the trans-identified adult male. Claps in the chat, just well done. Well, he beat a 13-year-old girl. What an accomplishment, seriously, what a hero. What a hero. Drag queen wearing a thong twerks and flips for children at a family-friendly event, pride event. Okay, all right. Some of this stuff is. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking for. I want y'all to look at her, right? Look at her, for sure. But also pay attention to the reflection in the picture over here. Okay. So much happened all at once. First off, I want everyone to pay attention to this. She dressed up in her slut walk attire as any, I'm going to guess, maybe mid 40s, early 50s woman will. Who doesn't do that nowadays? Puts on her slut walk attire, grabs a pillow, and says, "Honey, I need you to film me freaking out about a thing. Be sure that I stay in frame," because she does stay in frame the entire time. Her husband is right here. This poor guy is filming this whole entire thing. That is why this whole entire temper tantrum. I like the fact she has also put on her knee pads for this little performance. Puts on her knee pads. And just for added measure, so that she doesn't, because she got bad knees at this age, she's got to watch out. She's not as spry as she used to be. She throws the pillow down and is sure to land on the pillow with her knee pads. Throws her temper tantrum. The husband is getting down on the ground for her, keeping her in frame, while she does this hair flip. Her poor dog. Her dog can be seen coming in from off camera, tail wagging. This is a fun game for the dog. The dog just makes it for me. The dog is coming over there. Is it playtime? Are we having a good... This is CNN. No one is going to give you the education you need to overthrow them. Nobody is going to teach you your true history. If they know that knowledge will help set you free. Asata Shakur. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for finding that, Chris. Yeah, I think it's such an excellent quote, and it really does apply to what's going on nowadays. Our public school system is producing dumb people. Very dumb people. And I'm like looking back, it's... And I said this last time, there are a lot of things that they teach you that you forget automatically because you will never lose it again or use it again. You know? And I don't ever remember actually being taught my constitutional rights, how to fill out a check. Like I don't remember a lot of these basic things that you're supposed to know when you go out into the real world. I don't know anything about the stock market. Nothing. I had to teach all of that to myself. Even going into college, I just remember that like there was a lot of stuff that I was taught, like matrices and stuff. I have never used once in my entire life. Never once. Thanos had a good point too. They won't know. They never had. I'm waiting for her head to start spinning around. She probably needed a little bit of a Tylenol after that. You know, she hasn't, not since her White Snake days. And even if the destination makes someone this angry, then go ahead and set up a camera and record it just over the top. I just think it's hysterical that like I feel bad for her husband and her dog, both of whom have to put up with this over dramatic woman who clearly has a screw loose. But knows her bodily limits, guys. I mean, I'm impressed, you know. She knew to put on knee pads and sink down onto a pillow in her rage. She planned that far ahead, at least. The thing that really kind of strikes me about this whole entire thing is it's clearly manufactured. This is look at meism at its best. These people coming out here and making these TikToks, they're not going to change anything. They're not trying to change anybody's mind. They just want to be seen being angry. And so they have their husbands film, or they set it up or something like that. They work themselves up into a frenzy. They scream at the camera. They sob. They cry. And it's not accomplishing anything. This is pure emotion just being shown to be shown. It's just look at meism. It's the thirst for attention at this point in time. How many people do you actually think are that upset about the collapse of Roe? How many? If they didn't have an audience to perform to, do you think that this lady, for instance, would be doing what she's doing? No. If there was no TikTok or Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, if there's no social media, this lady would have heard the news, probably gotten very annoyed, and maybe even she'd raise her voice and voice her disagreement to her husband, her poor husband, and her dog, and then move on. She would vote in the next election for the person that she agreed with. But now we have TikTok, now we have Facebook, now we have social media, so all these people know that they're going to be seen by people around the world. Their followers are just going to, look at this, 3,224 likes. That's just the likes. 356 comments. I actually probably bet some of these people are making fun of her, but 3,224 likes. That's at least over 3,000 people who saw this. At least. Likely more. But she knows that if she performs this way, she gets a little bit of attention, that dopamine rush hits. And she feels like she did something. She feels like she accomplished something. All she really did was accomplish making herself look like an idiot. Those 3,224 people might actually like what she did, or you know, they're liking it because they thought it was funny. They want to show their friends later, which is also probably very likely. But otherwise, she's not really doing anything. She's just making herself look like a fool. It's look at meism. And I mean, like a lot can be said. You'll see a lot of this happening on libs of TikTok. This happened in my town. Dallas women twerking for abortion. Has your mind changed yet? Just remember, they're not going to have sex with you. Not until Roe is lifted and abortion is reinstated everywhere. Screaming. Screaming is point making. Just so you guys know.
Angry!
not a war on women. Abortion was never a part of the Constitution. It was never a constitutional right. You are wrong here. They just highlighted it wasn't a constitutional right, so they can't force it on the entire country. If a state wants to ban it, they can. Federalism. Federalism. This isn't a war on women. This is just federalism. By the way, I want to point this out. Many of the leaders and the more popular people in the pro-life movement are, in fact, women. So stop trying to make this a divisive thing by saying, oh, all these women are being attacked by these men, specifically these white men, except for Clarence Thomas, who is black, but he might as well be white, and we're going to call him all sorts of nasty things. Nasty, racist things, by the way. I've never seen the left, especially the white left, go from racism is the most atrocious thing on the planet to racism is okay. When it comes to Clarence Thomas. But this woman is, again, this is pure emotion. Her body doesn't actually say that she's actually that furious. Something tells me that this seems to me like she is acting badly.
Fuck you, Gorsuch, for lying under oath when you were confirmed, saying that you believed that this was settled. Women will die.
First of all, yes, they did. I want to point this out. They said it was settled. Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, Barrett, in one way or another, said it was settled. However, it does not mean that it is beyond reproach. Roe had been settled at that point. It had been. But now they can actually look at it and say, hey, actually, it's not a constitutional right. There's nothing it doesn't fall under the 14th, really. In fact, there is very strong argument to say that it contradicts the 14th. So it seems to me that this should be a state's issue, not a federal issue. Also, women will die. Not one state has said that abortion has to be performed even at the risk of the mother. Can't be performed even at the risk of the mother. If the mother is going to die because of the child, there's something wrong going on inside of her, there's excess bleeding, for some odd reason, the pregnancy is killing the mother. No state has said, can't perform abortion. She's just going to have to die. Not one. Also, I still have yet to find anybody who is actively trying to push. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But I guarantee it won't play well for them, even with the pro-life crowd. I have yet to see one person say, you know what we need to do is punish people who travel to get an abortion. We need to stop them. I've not seen that yet. If I'm wrong, please tell me. But I haven't seen it yet. I've yet to see anybody trying to say that we need to make sure that contraceptive cannot be used or something like that. What did Joe Biden say? Something about how we're going to be inspecting people's medicine cabinets. I've yet to see anything like that. I'm constantly reminded of the screeching eels from the Princess Bride movie. This is good for job interviews. Dude, no joke. Social media is nothing but millions of people screaming for their 15 minutes of fame. I just feel sorry for that pillow. Me too. You know what? Somebody, I forget where this quote comes from, but it's somebody said that in the future, the people will be working toward their 15 minutes of anonymity. Lots of sore throats today. Got the things I want to say that I can't say because I'm on a technically a family-friendly show. I am constantly reminded of the screech. Oh, I already read that. They can't even twerk properly. That's why you got to do the South Korean roll. The twerking is lewd. It's nasty. It just does not look good. The South Korean body roll, much better. Ladies, just saying. Wow, she's as upset as I was when I discovered we were out of bacon. Oh God, can you imagine if there's a bacon shortage? The woman does not like being told what to do, but she is telling others what to do. I sense no irony nor contradiction here. Funny, and I was actually just thinking about something very similar this morning. It was like all these people who are saying that their rights are being attacked and their freedoms are being attacked are the same people trying to enforce a blanket law over the entire country, whether they like it or not. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? The authoritarians are complaining about authoritarianism as they're trying to enforce an authority over everybody. It's these people don't think. It's all emotion. I keep saying this. It is all emotion. I am part of the lead gas generation, still smart enough to see this stuff and go, what the F? LOL. You are correct, Brady. Things are starting to swing back the other way on that, albeit slowly. She seems mentally and emotionally stable, and she is a good reminder that as to why I have never and will never go on TikTok. Dude, TikTok, I will say this is a treasure trove. There's more than just these people on here. TikTok actually is really great. I come across so many awesome people who are making arguments against these people, and TikTok does not discriminate in the same way like Twitter does, Facebook does. If you make a really great argument against the left, you're not going to get shut down. So there's a lot of really great stuff on here. I will say that. Some have said there was no abortion in our founding fathers' days, so it was not put in the Constitution. Wrong abortion has been around for ages. I believe there was some mention of it back in Rome. I believe. I think I was reading something about that. It was a long time ago, though. But yeah, abortion has been around for some time. But I think they tried to induce it through like some sort of plant or like mix or something like. I can't remember. But yeah, abortion's nothing like new. Like John is on TikTok. Exactly, John is on TikTok. I will take your word for it, TikTok, good sir. Let's continue with this philosopher of our times.
But as long as it fits your Christian goddamn narrative, it must be correct. White women of privilege will still have access after their senators fuck them.
I mean, why don't you go and, if you're poor, why don't you go and work for one of those companies that says it will shell out money for your abortion? It'll pay your travel costs, your abortion costs, and you can just get right back to work. Employee number 47892. It'll be great. Again, this is a state thing. Not every single state, okay, is going to have a ban on abortion. If you're that angry, go get a job in that state and live there. If this is the one single thing that you're obsessed with, that you care about, if you are a single issue person, then by all means, go move to that state. Go live in an abortion-filled paradise. Go. Nothing's stopping you. Or go work at a company that wants to pay your way there for abortions. A lot of them are not offering it. Disney, even Tesla's offering it now. Do you know why they're offering it, though? And I want to make this very clear. They're not offering abortions because they care. It's not because they believe in abortion. It's because maternity leave is very expensive. It's insanely expensive. They would much rather shell out $4,000 to send you to a different location, maybe buy you a little lunch, pay for your hotel room and flight. They pay for your abortion. They pay for your flight back. You get back on the line. They don't care. They don't care about your dreams. Here's the other thing, by the way. I don't know if this was very well thought out because it was a pretty knee-jerk reaction by a lot of businesses, I felt like. But I mean, like, if you are a company that has said that you're going to provide abortions, is there something that's going to stop people from coming in to work for you? Like, they go through the whole entire process of getting a job. They get the abortion, and then they quit. Like, you just shelled out thousands of dollars to a person who means absolutely nothing to you, or who is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure that they might have some stipulations. I haven't seen it yet, but I just thought it was very interesting that they started offering that. Well, during my, let's say my 20s. During my 20s, I'm going to go work at this company because I can have as much sex as I want. And then, I'm not going to use birth control. I kind of want to get pregnant a little bit. I want to get pregnant because basically they're going to give me money to go on vacation to get an abortion somewhere. And since California is paying for abortion, stuff like that, they could easily say something like, I want to go to San Diego. I want to go to LA. I want to go somewhere nice to get my abortion. Because it's good to me mental health wise to get an abortion at a really nice place. Pay my way. It's a little vacation. It's a little vacation. I enjoy that some people are so dumbed down now that they think objective truth doesn't exist. Only narratives. Yep. And TikTok has silly people doing silly things, such as myself. That is true. John is a TikToker. Go follow him. I enjoy that some people are so dumbed down that they think I already read that. Only narratives. Correct. The narrative takes the cake. Because the narrative, you got to understand, narratives are very easy to believe. Whereas facts are much harder to find. It's much easier to give a reason for someone to be mad, which is, it can be a very addictive emotion, anger. It can be a very addictive emotion. So you can give somebody a reason to be mad and feel like they're a victim. And they will take it and run without any thought whatsoever. Any thought. Go back to California. I saw some people on Twitter saying that they're going to go back to California. I was like, peace! Well, she is starting to understand that there are elites, rules for thee, but not for me. LOL, got to start somewhere. But she doesn't understand that it's like these elites that she is referring to are like the people that she thinks are just the greatest. And they tell her what to do, and she says, yes, ma'am, please, may I have another. That's she doesn't understand that. It worked for Swalwell, right? Right? I mean, that's true. Maybe she is referring to Swalwell and the Chinese spy that he slept with. She is starting to understand that. Oh, I already read that. Paid leave for being irresponsible. Exactly. That's what this is. It's paid leave for being irresponsible. That's a really good way of putting it. Soul Warrior. Even Netflix is offering this. They're sinking like a lead balloon and offering this. Because, again, maternity leave is just super expensive. Why would you... Why as a business? Because this is, when you really break it down, this is a great business deal. It's a great business idea. Instead of having to pay everything for maternity leave, just have your boss shell out a few $1,000s, much cheaper, to go and send you to a place where you can get an abortion, come back, and then get back to work. No interruption, no cost. Paid maternity leave is a nightmare for businesses. It's a nightmare. Why not just off the kid? Get the person back to work. I assume those company abortions incentives will be available to male employees as well. Yes, I mean, we've been told quite emphatically that men can get preggers too. I would be pregnant all the time. All the time. I'd be like, I gotta go to Colorado, to the mountains. You know, there's an abortion clinic right next to a creek where there's a lot of great fly fishing. I'm gonna go there. I need to go to San Diego. No, you know what? I need there's a place on the coast, on this really nice white sand beach that does really great abortions. I need to go there. All right, and I need to get an abortion and a Mai Tai. Somewhere out there is someone on the left who is going to think, hey, what a great idea for our next lunatic demand. You know what the funny thing is, Sean? These people are thrilled to have something that makes them this angry. Thrilled. They love it. Again, anger is addictive. They love being outraged. They love being victimized. This is like the best thing to ever happen to them in that regard. Again, this lady, I don't actually think she's half as angry as she says she is. The lady doing the temper tantrum with the pillow on the ground, you know, where her husband was filming her, she's not that angry. Again, she would have just moved on. She probably would have been a little frustrated and angry and said something and like maybe yelled something at a TV at some point in time. Maybe she would have frustratedly vented with her friends, but do you think that she actually would have flipped out that hardcore if there wasn't an audience? This is this is a chance for them to just act and be recognized and get those dopamine hits. That's all this is. New Supreme Court ruled in favor of couch playing at a game. Another one. Oh, coach praying at a game. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I did see that. Dude, the Supreme Court's on fire. They would be only fair, Kaylin, to everyone else. They're so screwed with their virtue signaling. But when it comes to money and the bottom line, oh, wow. Yeah. Again, I think it's very important for people to understand this. Corporations do not care about the things that they say they care about. Their number one concern is money. That's it. That's all they care. They will say and do whatever they think is necessary to make money, to make more money, to expand, to grow. That's it. They don't care. Corporations are a machine that is pretending to be a human. That's all it is. That's all it is. Making money is the only thing it really cares about. If tomorrow, the entire planet said, you know what, I'm glad that Roe v. Wade is dead and abortion is absolutely murder. If the entire planet said that, you would have corporations going to the extreme on radio, on television, online, digital ads everywhere, saying, we have always had a very pro-life stance. We always have valued life. We think that killing babies is wrong. That's what they would say. If tomorrow the world got together and said, you know what's really fun? Killing puppies. Let's kill puppies all over just murder, slaughter puppies. The entire world is like, let's just slaughter puppies. Corporations, you would have Mickey Mouse out there going, ha ha, killing puppies is fun, ha ha. Like, they say what they need to say to get you to spend money. That's all it is. Ha ha. Sorry, Pluto. Ha ha. It's just an excuse to throw a fit and get some attention, get a few likes, feel validated. Yep. It's a lonely time in humanity. We've never been more connected, but we've never been more distant from each other, and this is what happens. You go out of your way to be recognized, to get that little dopamine hit, to feel like you've done something with your life.
Poor working mothers will not. Young women who are victims of sexual assault will not.
There is arguments to be made when it comes to sexual assault victims. And again, the nuance here needs to be understood. She is saying in a blanket statement that the ban on abortion in certain states is going to prevent everybody from having an abortion in certain situations. People are going to die. People who have been sexually assaulted. They always wheel those out, by the way. They always wheel those out. Sexual assault and incest and all this stuff. You know, what about these cases? As if they constitute the vast majority of the reason that people get abortions. That's not true. Over 93%. And probably actually even more if you really consider of the abortions that are performed in this country are actually elective. It's a very, 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 very low percentage of people who get abortions because of rape or incest. But the thing about it is that now the people in these states can decide where do those limits lie. Do you want there to be an exception in the case of rape? Do you want there to be an exception in the case of incest? Do you want there to be an exceptions period? You know, like, this is something that y'all can decide now. The power is now in your hands. Make the argument as to why that is necessary, why that exception is necessary. You know, make the argument. You now have the power.
Women who found out that their child is not viable in the third trimester will not. And who the fuck knows what's going to happen ectopically, because half you men prove that you don't know what an ectopic pregnancy is. How do I have less rights than my mother?
again, you still have the same amount of rights. You still have the same amount of rights. But now people have the right to say, in my state, this isn't a thing. You actually have more rights now than you did. You have more rights than your mother did. True fact.
Not everybody believes in your sky daddy. Not everybody believes in your cloud papa.
My cloud papa don't have nothing to do with this. I'm just saying this is a federal issue. It's a federalist issue. If you would educate yourself in the way of the United States constitutional republic, you would understand that this is great news because now you have a say.
The fact that you tied religion to your decision is pathetic!
It's actually not. It's actually not. Religion has been one of the greatest factors for the success and advancement of civilization. Period. People who have, if you actually notice this, people who have religion, specifically Christianity, have a much greater civilization than many others. It's not pathetic that we tie our religious decisions to our political beliefs. It's not. Because it's done really well for us historically. The fact that you're flipping out about my sky daddy, it makes you pathetic. That you're getting this upset about my cloud papa makes you the pathetic one. This is, you're people are laughing at you, lady. Come on.
Rolling back the clock on women's rights and bodily autonomy is pathetic. You fucking conservacunts love fetuses. You love fetuses. You are pro-birth. You are pro-amniotic sac because fetuses can't talk and they can't vote against you. But they make a good narrative for your fucking re-election campaigns.
It's just beliefs. People believe in life, and that's why we vote for people who believe in life. I mean, that's really all it is. It's not just a narrative. Just because you are so sold by narratives doesn't mean that we are, you know?
Pathetic! This will never stop abortions, ever! It stops them from being safe! It stops women from dying from them!
I'm just going to say this, and this is going to sound heartless, but it's true. If you are dumb enough to get a back alley abortion that is completely and totally unsafe, and it hurts you, and you suffer from it, or even die from it, then maybe Darwin had a point.
Stops women from having back alley abortions or throwing themselves downstairs. All you did was hurt women.
I mean, it sounds to me like women are hurting themselves if that's the case.
Women of color, BIPOC women, minority women, women who are in poverty.
No! No, we are actually saving the lives of many minority women by not letting you kill them anymore. I mean, black babies have never been safer. Black women have never been safer.
Women who have to make a horrifying decision of their life versus the fetus. Most of the time, it's a clump of goddamn cells. Cells! So women get to relive their sexual assaults for life.
A baby isn't just a clump of cells. I'm going to go ahead and leave her there because I want to do this. Many people have made that clump of cells argument. It's not just a clump of cells. You're a clump of cells, really. When you really break it down, we're all a bunch of clump of cells. I'm a clump of cells, you're a clump of cells. Biological matter is a clump of cells. We are cells arranged in such a way that you form a person. Skin cells, blood cells, brain cells, stem cells, everything. You're cells. You're just cells. A bunch of them put together to make you. To say that, it's just a clump of cells is such a stupid, non-scientific argument. Or at least it's actually just a shallow one at the very least. I've seen so many of these arguments made by dumb people. And one of my favorite ones, and I wanted to talk about this, and I know we're running over, but I've got to talk about this because it drives me absolutely crazy. This whole, and I saw it made multiple times, this idea that babies are parasites. They're parasites. I've watched protesters during this round of anger toward Roe v. Wade or this round of anger and abortion protests, I should say. Well, babies are just parasites. They leech off the mother. If you take them out, they're not viable. Okay, a lot of things are not viable on their own, but that doesn't make them any less human. You have people in the hospital right now who, if you took them off life support, they would die. Okay? And I'm not just talking about old people. I'm talking about people who have been in accidents or gunshot victims, stuff like that. People who are currently on the brink of death but are being kept alive by constant work and the help of machines. Okay? Are those people less human because they are not viable by themselves? No. And also, I want to say this. How a Baby is Not a Parasite, a guide for idiots. I feel like this is necessary. I want to read this to you guys. And I feel like it'll be really helpful, because I'm sure you're going to be confronted with these arguments at some point in time. Here's some points for you to use against the people who cannot differentiate a baby from a tapeworm. Every time pro-life chat surfaces in the news, I see stupid people try to justify abortions by any means possible. With the March for Life in full swing, you can bet the pro-abortion crowd has surged forth on social media and put their dumbest foot forward in order to combat the growing menace of people who don't want babies to be killed. One of my favorite excuses the pro-abortion crowd uses... Oh, by the way, if you want to see this one, I'm just going to go ahead and post this in the chat. I'm going to post this in the chat for you guys. There you go. If you want to follow along, you can. One of my favorite excuses the pro-abortion crowd uses is the reasoning that a baby is essentially a parasite. And if a woman wants to rid herself of a parasite, who am I to tell her she can't? And then, there was a bunch of course, there were a bunch of tweets. Well, my stupid friends, I can somewhat see where your logic originates from. On the surface, a baby does indeed seem like a parasite. It feeds off of the host mommy's body and intakes her food supply in order to grow healthy and strong. It can sometimes even make mommy sick. Even the placenta masks itself from the host mommy's immune system, like a parasite does. But that's where the similarities end, and the glaring fact that a baby is not a parasite begins. Like a cloud in the sky is not actually floating cotton because it's white and fluffy, a baby is not a parasite just because it's a growing organism inside someone's body. Bearing some similarities does not a perfect comparison make, especially due to the starkness of its differences. Just because I can kill the electricity by shooting at power lines, it doesn't make my AR-15 a light switch. For one, a baby in the womb is homospecific. This means that both mommy and baby are the same species, and mommy's body is specifically geared to gestate a baby of her own species while it lives inside of her. The same cannot be said of a tapeworm. A mother's body naturally works to strengthen baby, help it grow, prepares for its arrival and departure, and even afterwards works to sustain baby by providing it with milk and an instinctive bond that urges mothers to protect and love her baby. A parasite does not get the same treatment. To the host body, the parasite is the enemy, and it will work hard to kill it. The parasite has a whole plethora of evasion strategies to avoid the plethora of weapons the host body uses against it. Like an episode of Tom and Jerry, the host and the parasite attempt consistently to harm the other, with the thriving parasite often getting the upper hand and making the host very sick. Unlike the baby, however, the parasite has no intention to leave and be cuddled by its host, be dressed in cute clothes, or be celebrated with gender reveal parties. It wants to stay put, feed off the host, and reproduce while it's at it. By the way, a baby does not reproduce inside the mother. Just thought I'd throw that little tidbit in there. Even more amazing is the fact that the bond between mother and baby is also one of mutually assured construction. In one of the most amazing relationships seen in nature, the baby that is being developed by the mother will actually help heal its mother, should mommy be harmed. Essentially, the baby almost turns mommy into Wolverine, with an increased healing factor using a process called feto-maternal microchimerism. Say that 3 times fast. Essentially, if mommy is harmed in any of her organs, be it her liver, heart, or skin, baby will donate some of its stem cells to mommy so that she can heal up so both can be in a state of solid health. In essence, mommy and baby repair and rejuvenate each other. You will not get this same treatment from a leech. Also, a leech will not reduce your chances of cancer like pregnancy will. nor will it make sex better due to increased blood flow to the vagina. A plasmodium will not improve your sex life. It'll pretty much just give you malaria. But Brandon, says idiot, pregnancy often makes women sick. Parasites obviously do that too. Well, my stupid friend, you are correct. But according to a 2014 Stanford study, science, that thing you ignore when it comes to inconvenient pro-life facts, but say you regularly believe at any other time, has uncovered that the reason expectant mothers sometimes get very sick is that her immune system turns into Rambo on a rampage, not because it's weaker. Scientists had thought up until that pregnancy causes the mother's immune system to power down so it could direct its efforts into creating a healthy baby. However, the real story turned out to be the opposite. The mother's immune system tends to overreact against sickness in order to make the baby protected. Pregnancy is a messy, complicated, and oftentimes painful thing. It results in nausea, cramps, frequent trips to the bathroom, and the dreaded mood swings. In some cases, it can suck even more than having a parasite. But any crying mother holding her baby for the first time will vehemently disagree that the most precious thing in the world she's currently cradling qualifies as a parasite. Both mother and baby worked hard for months to get to that point. And while mommies may be glad baby is out of the body, very rarely are they ever glad to see them gone. A host will never be depressed that she can't be host to a parasite, or be emotionally devastated and scarred should the parasite die while it's inside of her. A host does not spend her life planning to have ringworm or dedicate her and her spouse's finances to raising healthy lice. A host does not put aside money so that one day her cryptosporidium can afford to go to college and become a productive citizen. A host will never be brought to tears while she watches her hookworm walk down the aisle in a white dress. A baby is a human at every stage of its life. A parasite is not. It is not a parasite. Period. That is one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard. A baby is a clump of cells and it's a parasite. Okay. Children are far more important than people understand. I mean, you got to think, how many times have we killed the baby that was going to invent the longer lasting light bulb, cure cancer? How many times did we kill the child that would invent an even better form of government system, a better form of economic system? How many times have we killed the child that would have advanced us into the future? Did we kill the kid that was going to give us the hoverboard? What? Did no one think about this? We actually, Elon Musk is right. We have a population crisis. From here to Japan, it's not looking good, folks. We need more people, not less. We need more people working toward the future of our civilization, not less. This idea that babies are not important is ridiculous. And it's weird to me that we have this population that gets screamy, straight screamy.
Or are tied to their assailant.
Over it. They don't understand federalism. They don't understand how more power has been given to them than ever before to decide. But moreover, they're so emotionally driven by things that they never stop to look at the facts. They never stop to actually go, hey, maybe this child is a child. Maybe this is a actual human being, an actual life. And there's so much potential in one human being. And it also really kind of goes to show you that the left doesn't really look too fondly on the human race at all. That they just assume that a baby being born is the worst possible outcome for someone. And that it'll be a waste of resources. Never understanding the true potential that one human life can have. They don't see that. They just see failure at every turn. Mutually assured construction. Thank you. Every now and again I have. By the way, I wrote that in 2018. This information has been around for a really long time. That was 2018 I wrote that article. I'm going to share this on Twitter. Thank you very much. Share everything that you find on Red State. on Twitter or any social media platform. It really helps us out. Seriously. Children are worth any and all sacrifices. Yep. I can't wait to have my kid. I really can't. I'm really looking forward to being a dad. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm not going to be, even if I was pro-choice, which is really just pro-abortion, how do you hold a kid like that and not think, man, this is definitely worth enduring everything for. And I've actually seen several pictures. I don't know if I can pull them up here. There are pictures of like families where like there's a woman sitting there saying, don't force this on anyone. There's a pregnant woman sitting there saying, she's pregnant and she's lifted her stomach or shirt, so it exposes her stomach, and on her belly is written "not a life yet." And I'm like, how do you get to a point where you think that? How do you get there? How does somebody get there? Doesn't make any sense. What do you think you're carrying around inside of you? What do you think that is? A clump of cells. Dumbass, you're a clump of cells. Does it make you any less of a human? These people don't understand. Guys, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on this Monday. I'm sorry I went a little long. But I had a lot to say. I still actually didn't get to everything that I wanted to talk about. But go to redstate.com. Sign up for the VIP program. Promo code Morse gets you a discount. Really helps us out. Also, like this stream if you haven't already. Share it. Share the stream around. We have an article up at Red State that has the stream embedded in it. Share that article. Get the word out. Get the word out. More people, the merrier. Thank you guys so much. We will be back on Wednesday. We're going to talk about some of this undercover footage that we saw from Project Veritas. It's pretty crazy stuff. If you want to ask me anything or have me talk about a subject, go follow me on Twitter at @TheBrandonMorse. My DMs are open. By all means, send me some stuff and I will try to talk about it. In the meantime, guys, y'all have a good rest of your week. I know it's Monday. It sucks. Get out there and tackle it, man. And smile. Because we're definitely winning. Keep your ear to the ground, folks. All right. I'll see y'all later. Peace.